Hey guys, it's your girl Exotical Sauce, and I was just sitting here sipping on my coffee, flipping through some Exotical channels, just chilling this cold, rainy day in July. When I came across this channel, shout out to this content creator, Pink Book Lessons. I am subscribed to her channel. I suggest you go and subscribe to her channel also. And as usual, she never disappoints. I just love her straightforward, no nonsense delivery. She's non-biased, and she tells it like it is. In this video, she was talking about the Kendrick Lamar Drake beef and the real reason why everybody's chanting they're not like us. And she explained who the they is and who the us is. And of course, the they is biracial people. Us is obviously unambiguous dark-skinned black people. I kind of had a feeling, just like a lot of people may have had a feeling, that this was about light-skinned, dark-skinned kind of rhetoric, but I really couldn't put it into words, or really didn't want to just come out and say that, so I'm glad she noticed it. But then Kendrick Lamar came out and said that Drake is a colonizer and put his biracial identity in, called his biracial identity into question, saying that his struggles are not the same as an average black person's struggles. And Drake and J. Cole should not be calling themselves anything big in rap music because rap music is not their culture. They're not fully black. They're biracial. And therefore, they have no business claiming any titles in rap music. So yeah, shout out to Pink Book Lessons for calling out the hypocrisy at the end of her video, because when biracial and mixed people do claim blackness, the black community will tell them really fast that they are not black. But when Tyla came out and stated her racial identity, everybody was mad because she did not claim black. As you can see, mixed and biracial people, or mixed and light-skinned people, are darned if you do and darned if you don't, especially biracial people. They're darned if you do and darned if you don't. Like, the black community is just never happy. You can never satisfy this community at all, no matter what you do. Biracial people are a huge part of the black community, always have been, during the time of slavery and up until today. And I'm very glad that people are now starting to notice this hypocrisy and actually starting to say something about it and check it, because it can be very dangerous for light-skinned and mixed people, especially when someone like Kendrick Lamar puts out that message. The reason why that it can become very dangerous is because, like I said in previous videos, that black people have a tremendous amount of power. We are the police. We are in every form of government, law enforcement, the military. And if somebody who has that kind of power does not like someone that is mixed or light-skinned, well, they have the power to do whatever they want to do with them. And if the black community is silent about it, then that person is just SOL. SOL meaning shit out of luck. And for all the black people that don't feel that way, that don't have attitudes toward mixed and light-skinned people, or don't dislike mixed and light-skinned people, and do in fact see us as the same, are not saying anything to check other blacks that do feel this way. Even though Tyree Nichols was not a mixed or light-skinned man, he is still deceased because these 5 officers had something personal against him and had the power to quote unquote do something about it. Because like I said, black people we do have a tremendous amount of power because of the titles that we hold and the institutions that back that power that we hold. I want to tell you a quick story. I used to work in the hospital setting a long time ago. I used to work as a hospital transporter, and I trained a unambiguous dark-skinned young lady, and she was very, very sweet, really young. And my unambiguous dark-skinned manager was a woman, could not stand me and a lot of other people, men or women, whatever. She didn't discriminate, but nobody liked her either. But anyway, the young lady that I trained, eventually her and I both got promotions. I guess we were called team leaders. Both of us were. But this unambiguous dark-skinned black woman manager that nobody liked gave the young lady that I trained some insider information about how she can get a promotion, like how she can apply up and become a supervisor. and she gave her like insider information on how she could, where she could go to apply and what she needed and things like that. And the young lady did, in fact, apply and became a supervisor, but she was not as good at her duties as I was, and let me explain why. She actually hated all of her duties. She fell out with like everybody on her shift. Nobody liked her because she would flash her badge around and throw her weight around. And I guess in her mind that a supervisor is supposed to be mean. She was acting like what she thought a supervisor should be, and she was being mean to her subordinates, and nobody liked her. So she would ask me to do the huddle speeches at the beginning of the shift. Also, she did not like to sit in the office and answer the phones or take care of the issues that any of the employees had. She didn't like to sit in the back and answer the phones or direct any of the employees on the floor. She didn't like to give the breaks. She didn't like to do any of the things that she was supposed to do as a supervisor. So usually she would ask me to come off the floor and do those, take care of those responsibilities for her. And eventually I ended up leaving because they were overworking me and they didn't want to pay me. And then it was preferential treatment that was given from one unambiguous dark-skinned black woman to another. Also, there was an unambiguous dark-skinned black woman that one of my coworkers, we were good friends at the time. We are no longer friends now. But that same manager would throw her an extra couple of $100 on her paycheck. And she, whispered it to me and told me in secret and told me not to say anything. And I didn't, She asked me not to say anything, and I felt like, well, in that environment, what good would it do me anyway to say anything? I couldn't prove it, and then I would end up probably losing my job because she had the power, and I didn't. But Kendrick Lamar's rhetoric and his "They're Not Like Us" song is the same rhetoric that Chrissy and her minions always use. It's separatist rhetoric, and now it's crossing over to the men, or it probably already was being stated by the men. They just were not as loud. The reason why everybody is praising Kendrick Lamar is because it's a lot of dark-skinned black men that don't like light-skinned or mixed men, and this is their excuse or their reason to cancel Drake because they never really liked him in the first place. It's one thing for Kendrick Lamar to point out that Drake is a quote-unquote pedophile, but he didn't say a word about R. Kelly. So if it was just about Drake being a pedophile, he should have said something about all the other pedophiles in the industry, I think. But we all know really why Kendrick Lamar made that song. It's because he doesn't like Drake or J. Cole, and probably no other light-skinned or mixed man for that matter. And this was his reason to cancel J. Cole and Drake. And yes, I know not all unambiguous dark-skinned people have anything against, have something against mixed and light-skinned people. You have a lot of people that don't think like that. But a lot of you are egging this shit on, co-signing with Kendrick Lamar and the message that he is sending. And you sit in the company with dark-skinned people that say this kind of shit. And you laugh at it, and you're amused by it, and you're entertained by it. You sit there and you say nothing. But then you expect mixed and light-skinned people to speak up whenever we encounter a colorist and defend unambiguous dark-skinned black people. That's some hypocritical bullshit. And it is very dangerous for mixed and light-skinned people. And if you are a mixed or a light-skinned person, please stop dancing to this song and hollering, "They're not like us," because you're the they that he is talking about. It's just more separatist rhetoric. Please stop co-signing this shit. This also brings to mind another, I guess she's a content creator. Her name is Una Sweet Ginger. She was, I saw her in a clip played on Forlight, Forlight, his channel. Never saw this young lady before, but outside of watching her on that clip when she was doing like a live or a podcast or something. But her views are kind of extreme. She's talking about MLS people separating themselves from the black community and going off and creating their own communities. So kind of got me thinking and like wondering what would that look like and how would that even be possible for mixed and light-skinned people to separate themselves and have their own industries, their own schools, their own police departments. And I started to wonder, like, how would that look? how would we go about doing something like that? Not that I'm thinking about it, but I mean, if we did do that, with that, how would the economy work? Like, how would that look? We would have our own police departments, firemen. We would be leaving behind our, our sisters and brothers and cousins and uncles and aunties, and we would open up our own stores. A lot of mixed people will probably have an advantage to that. There might be an advantage to that because a lot of mixed people have black. Have white, have Native American, have Arabic, Mexican, different kinds of Spanish. Of course, mixed people would still have like that dusty sector with the Pookies and the Ray Rays. There would still be like some ratchets. There would still be problematic behavior from mixed and light skinned people, because just because you're mixed or light skinned does not mean that we don't have problems. But would it be more harmonious? Would it be easier for us? Would we not have to deal with colorism or hatred from unambiguous dark-skinned people? Would it be something that people are considering? Because I am hearing that sentiment grow amongst mixed and light-skinned people more and more. And to be honest with you, it makes me feel kind of sad to think about that, because mixed and light-skinned people are a huge part of the black community. We identify as black. We have been socialized as black. We've been raised by black people. But it's very hurtful when the same family kind of like turn on you because it's trendy, or it's in, or it's the hot discussion that's happening today about colorism, or how much everybody hates mixed and light-skinned people, and your family that you've known all your life just decides to join into the conversation and kind of like turn on you just to fit in with everyone else because they're dark-skinned and everybody else is doing it. And it's kind of an eye-opener, and very, very telling that maybe all along the people that you thought loved you secretly can't stand you and have been feeling this way about you for a very long time. They just didn't tell you. But that's my rant about the Drake Kendrick bullshit. Just let me know in the comments what you think about MLS people and separation, because I really don't know if that's possible. I don't really want that, but that's the growing sentiment amongst mixed and light-skinned people. So just let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you next time. Because me personally, I really think that a community like that would thrive, because we would have a lot of mixed people have the benefit or the privilege of speaking different languages, being associated with those different cultures. Doors would probably open up to mixed and light-skinned people quicker than they would to blacks, as far as getting like a liquor license or gaming license or things like that. The business acumen that they would get from those other cultures, plus the international ties that they have with the other countries that their families may have immigrated from. So just let me know in the comments, and I will talk to you later.